Welcome everybody back into another episode of Two Fat Guys in a Dream. Of course, I'm your host, is the most Truman, the Steam Machine Steen, as always. I'm joined by my father, Scott Steen. Scott, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm worried. I'm worried now. Are we going to have to change the name of the show after we lose a bunch of weight? Because it's like Boys to Men. Aren't we men yet?
They're just men. Yeah,
just men. Are we going to be like two slightly overweight guys in a dream?
Yeah.
Instead of fat guys, is that? And then when you hit your goal, but I'm still working, is it going to be one regular sized guy, one fat guy, one dream?
Two kind of overweight guys, technically by government standards. Dream kind of, which was their dream.
Yes.
That'll
right.
That'll be a good name. It was kind of like 2.5 Men. Whenever the kid got old, and you're like, that's just three men at that point, guys.
It's just
he's in college. That's 3 men.
Yeah.
What are we doing?
3 men. Hey, speaking of living out their dream, I see you're back in your favorite motel room.
I am. Wait. Oh man, I do have the corn side, but again, it's just a little too dark for you guys to see the corn. There is corn though, right there. That makes.
I don't think there's a person listening now that does not believe you.
There's
There's nobody sitting out there going, "Oh, that's bullshit. He's not looking at corn."
There's no way there's corn out that window. That's so stupid. God.
What are the odds? Well, if you're in the middle of Kansas, the odds are about 75%, I'd say.
Yeah.
One of your windows is corn.
Yeah, if you're in a hotel in a small town that doesn't even have an Applebee's, you're probably pretty close to corn at all times.
I like when they used to do shots of Royal Stadium, and they'd show some long blimp shot or something. You could there used to be a farm that would have a cow on it, like on the other side of Blue Ridge up on the hill.
Oh, yeah.
It would they'd make it look like it was just out in the middle of goddamn podunk, you know. Look at that, just right by the cows. That's where they built their stadium.
You're like, damn it, I live there. There's no cows. It's just a bad part of town, okay? God,
you know, in Raytown, there's a Wendy's next door to a place where they keep cows.
What?
And I always, you did, yeah, just to the west. The west, same side of the road. It's not next door, but to say half a block away. There's a farm that has cows on it.
What, over there on 63rd and really interesting. I didn't think there was cows that close to that Wendy's. No.
Yeah, I was hated when I had to wait for a burger at Wendy's. I'm like, I can see a cow. I can see a cow out my window.
God, and that Wendy's does make you wait too. That is a terrible Wendy's.
It's like when you pay too much money in Texas for gas, and you're like looking at an oil well. You're like, how is this fucking possible? I can see the well.
That's how you knew we were committed to getting bigger during those times, because we sat in those lines at Wendy's, man, just to get a Baconator. Oh, yeah. We sat for 20 minutes just to wait on a Baconator, man.
Yeah, 100%.
And they'd probably mess it up. You probably have to go back inside. You know, that's the problem.
It's good to be here. I'm excited. I know you're going to. You have been 1 month.
1 month.
Two fat guys in a dream diet. So we're going to talk about the results, and we're going to score that. We're going to be talking about what you're doing next, and it's kind of doing a little hybrid plan here.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. I have a bit of a gambit for you.
We're going to talk about that as we go on here a little bit, but first, it's time for the weekly. How do we not have music for this yet?
Weekly review. I mean, I can talk to somebody. You want music? I got a guy. The same guy who made the music. We had him on the other podcast. He said he'd make more music if I want any more music.
You know what? Let's try this.
Oh, do you got?
Again,
you've got transition music.
Weekly health review. There you go.
That's nice. That's a nice touch. Yeah. Yeah, I get behind that. Absolutely. Look at that. Yeah, how about this?
I've been sitting on that for fucking 3 months, isn't it?
I can run the music. You can run the sound effects. You can do whatever sound effects you want. You get free range on your sound effects. Absolutely.
Okay.
All right. Welcome everybody to the personal health check-in with such a regal tune like that. It's hard almost to live up to it. But
hey, do you think we get few enough views so I can do this?
I think so. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna get fined in a fucking week for that. But
did you get in trouble? Is that like a copyright thing? Did you guys get in trouble?
Yeah.
Really?
No, you can.
Interesting.
We used all that on our radio show, and they were like, can use whatever songs you want. They supposedly they paid for like an ASCAP license,
Oh yeah.
which they were like a tiny radio station in Tampa Bay.
Hmm.
So no way, shape, or form, I believe they paid like 10 grand a month to use ASCAP stuff.
Yeah.
We just used whatever music we wanted. We used Fortunate Son for our intro music, and we did some other shit. We played some Bruce and just fucking
Damn.
whatever song we want to play. Go ahead.
Dude, I
And
wish.
we never heard anything about it, but
Dude, I've
anyway.
had I've had like a 2 view video get copyright struck, and I was like, come on, man. How did you guys find that? What AI you got running through my 2 view video,
I'll
man?
I'll, t- I'll tell you what. If somebody picked up the 3 seconds of Green Acres, in the middle of this video, God bless them. Well, you know what? It's not going to be monetized. There you go.
Yeah, it doesn't. I think, and that's part of it is it doesn't. We're not even close to monetization, so it doesn't matter.
No.
But okay, all right. All that to say, personal health check-in. Scott, again, I was still doing the two fat guys in a dream diet this week.
You know what? You know what? Let's start with me, and
Oh,
then we'll transition from yours, and then right into the new plan.
okay, all right, okay.
Okay. So put up the stats. How'd I do this week?
I got you. You, Scott, you weighed in this Monday morning, or sorry, Friday morning. Who am I? What? Friday morning, 293.4. You lost 0.9 pounds from your previous week. Means you lost 0.68% of your overall goal. You have now lost a total of 38.9 pounds, which of your 132.3 goal is 29.40%.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not. I wasn't totally unhappy. I'll tell you what. It's become more and more difficult to get steps in, because as we pack up the house,
Mm-hmm.
there are more boxes, and it's been hotter than shit outside.
Oh yeah.
So I haven't been walking outside. I usually walk inside, but my pathway is kind of jammed up. So
Yeah.
I'm excited for the move here in a couple of weeks when we're literally across the street from a park.
Oh, that'll be
It's
nice.
from my front door to a trail is probably 60 feet,
Fair.
somewhere around 20. Yeah. So that'll be great. Going to get a lot more walking in. So yeah, I'm ready, and yeah, it's going to be good. Better results ahead.
Now,
But
question.
as long as I'm still losing, I'm not unhappy.
Right. Are you
Yes, question.
are you think? Oh, have you thought about getting back into like a treadmill anytime soon?
Um, at the new place, maybe. When in the place we are now, there's just no spot for it.
Okay.
But having that third bedroom may give me an option to put a good treadmill in it. That's my other problem.
Well,
I got to have a good one.
I mean, so I guess that's the question is that well, I don't think this is doxing you or anything, but we both live. Well, I guess I live in a townhome now, but you live in an apartment complex. You
I
have
do.
a workout room in
I
that.
do.
You just
Correct.
if it had a good enough treadmill, would you go use that treadmill?
I will maybe at the new place. It's ironically, it's kind of a long walk from our place to the clubhouse now.
Yep.
So it's like when I used to go to Planet Fitness and work out, and I do like 45 minutes to an hour on the treadmill, but I'd spend 5 minutes looking for the closest spot. I'm not doing any extra fucking walking here.
Yeah. Oh no,
I've
I
got
didn't pay for that. Yeah.
I've got my plan, but I'm saving that extra 20 yards. I'm gonna go walk like 3.5, 4 miles. But I'm not doing that extra 20 yards, and not happening.
Yeah.
So yes, that could be an option. Uh, Honestly, in the wintertime when it's colder than shit, I'm probably not going to make the 3 minute walk to the clubhouse. So that's why an in-home treadmill wouldn't be a bad idea. But it has to be number one. It has to be big enough to support a hefty boy like myself,
Well,
and it's got to be.
now you're under 300 pounds. That's no special treadmill. That's a normal treadmill. That's a standard treadmill.
No, that's a good point. It could like the one we had at our old house, where it was okay, but then the belt would start locking
Oh
up,
yeah,
and
no.
you'd be walking along, and it would just seize. You're like, okay, that's not good. So, and that was a decent one.
Yeah.
That was like a good Sears model or whatever. So,
God, I went somewhere. I can't remember where I was, but they had a terrible treadmill like that, and I was like, dude, like you can feel it like slip when you're I was like, hell no. I was like, that's how I was like, I cannot tear an ACL or something stupid, man.
This may come as a surprise to you, but it's been a while since I've priced treadmills. But I'm going to guess one in the neighborhood that I'm looking for is probably $1,000 plus.
Oh, I would say almost 2,000. I mean, what's the Peloton's like three thousand
I want to say
dollars or something
I
like
want to
that?
say a Peloton's 2,800, $3,000, and then you got to pay a monthly to subscribe to the Peloton torture people.
Yeah, it was crazy that everybody during the pandemic got into the Peloton, and I was like, oh, well, how much could a Peloton cost? I was like, fucking $3,000, and it's
Yeah.
$90 a month, which is more than a lot of gym memberships.
Is that is that what it is? 90 a month? I knew it
I
was more.
saw it was something like $90 a month. I think I remember hearing that, but again,
I looked into remember the fitness mirrors that you could like stand in front of, and they like did classes and stuff, and you could see your instructor. You could see your instructor as they
I
did you.
I do not remember that, but that sounds like a good idea in a way.
And those were hella expensive too. They were like $1,200 and then $100 a month or whatever. So
God, yeah,
I'll tell you what I am going to do. There is a uh, swimming pool, community pool that's about 5 minutes from our new place,
yeah,
and I believe I will be joining there. It's like $18 a month
hmm
to join.
inside
And
or outside?
yeah, inside. Yeah,
Inside,
we have a pool out at the apartments, but in the new
yeah.
place we don't have indoor pool. So, and there's even like some early classes for old people. There's like beginning water, which you just stand and like splash the water. But I'm looking for something a little more advanced than
Maybe
that.
where you
But
get
they're
some of
all
those
like,
water weights in there. Yeah,
yeah, but they're all like 8 o'clock in the morning, and I'm like, oh god, damn, I don't really want to do that. We'll see. We'll
yeah.
see. At the very least, I'm gonna go get some laps in, go do some swimming,
Absolutely,
splashing around.
swimming, the best workout in the world
Absolutely,
on
and,
so
and
many
easiest
fronts.
on your joints. And even if you're just messing around at the pool, if you're running in place or going from one side, you're still getting great resistance exercise.
Yeah,
Even if you're not just like swimming lap after lap, which kind of gets boring. So
yeah.
but anyway, so that's kind of be my fitness plan going forward.
I got you.
So, all right, let's talk about your results and your plan going forward.
Okay, so my plan. So I had Scott this week. I weighed in at 246.2. Means I lost
Okay.
1 pound from last week, which is 1.23% of my 81.5 pound goal. I've lost 35.3 pounds, which is 43.31% of that goal.
Okay.
So
All right.
another great another great week on this. We did 4 weeks of this plan, and I lost 5.8 pounds.
Okay.
It's pretty good 4 weeks. And it's weird. It's
1.45 pounds a week, almost a pound and a half. That's very solid.
I think I can't remember, there's a rap song or a book or a Suffering from Success is the name of a joke or whatever. It's some reference, some pop culture reference. It's almost hard because you lose a pound and you're like, okay, like, and it feels weird to say that I lost like 5.8 pounds in a month. That almost
Right.
feels disappointing. But we're pretty deep into this, and that's
Sure.
it's hard to keep that perspective of like we've lost 35.3 pounds, right? Or I've lost 35, you lost 38, you've lost 39 pounds, and really you started what 10 pounds, 20 pounds heavier, and then at the beginning of the year, and it was just
Right.
when we started this show, you were at 332, so you were
Right.
just what 350 start of the year.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to say that. In fact, I can look here, but I think that's right. So, but yeah, I think anything you can realistically lose almost a pound and a half a week on
Mm-hmm.
at this point in the diet,
Yeah.
I think that's a win. I think that's absolutely a win.
Right.
Pound and a half a week is 78 pounds a year.
Yeah. Absolutely. And
You know,
that's what I also told myself is like, dude, if I lost 6 pounds for every month for the next 4 months, I could lose. I would be knocking on the door 220 by the end of the year,
right?
which would be
So
bonkers, insane.
so January 1st, I was 344.4.
You
So
were
I was
344. You said
12 pounds heavier than we started the diet two months later in March.
right.
I lost 12 pounds in 2 months. So I lost a pound and a half a week
So
for the 2 months before we started the diet.
So since January 1, you've lost 50 pounds.
Yes. Yes.
And I guess all of this is just hard to put in perspective now. And I think it's double-edged, right? Because I'm trying not to be disappointed by results. These are good results. These are good.
Sure.
5.8 pounds in a month is great. But it's like it's almost it's bad, but it's good that looking at like 35.3 pounds that I'm feeling that I'm like I gotta keep going. I gotta get, I want to get there. I want to get to 200 because for a lot of people, that if you lose 40 pounds, right? For a lot of people, that is your weight loss journey. That is your weight loss goal. And it is great. I feel immensely better than I felt 40 pounds ago. I can't even, I feel so much better in my everyday life, climbing stairs, doing also all these kinds of things where I just like, we were at Worlds of Fun over the weekend, and somebody was like, "Oh, we'll leave the swimsuits in the car, and then somebody will go get it, and before we go switch over to Oceans of Fun." And I was like, "I'm gonna go get it," but they're like, "Are you sure? Like, is that okay?" And I was like, "Yeah." I was like, I just powered through, powered back, and my Apple Watch clicked on right at it. If you walk enough outside, your Apple Watch will be like, "Hey, this is an outdoor walk, we're pretty sure. You want to record this as a workout?" You're like, "Yeah, I guess so." And I clicked record. And I had walked like 0.8 miles in like, 10, 15 minutes or whatever. And I just, and it was, a heat index of 95, 100 degrees. I just didn't feel that bad. It didn't feel like that much of a, and I couldn't have imagined that 40 pounds ago. And it was like we went to a party this weekend and Owen was, talking about, because people hadn't seen me in a month, and I've lost probably, since some people have seen me 10 pounds, 15 pounds, just because I've been out of town and whatnot and not as available to see a lot of people. So people are like, "Hey man, you're looking good. Like, you lost some weight." I was like, "Yeah man, I'm down a bit." And then Owen would always be like around the corner and he'd be like, "He's lost 40 pounds. Like these," I was like, "All right, oh, whatever,
Your personal diet hype man.
Right, yeah. And but it's that like aspect where I'm like, I'm not, because we've set these lofty goals, and this is where at the very beginning we had a mom's minute where we talked about goal setting, and it's like we talk about lofty goals, and this is where lofty goals can hurt you because you have to look at the right, when you're at this point, this is a critical moment for a lot of people where you're like, "Man, I've got so much more to go." Are you determined to get there, or are you saying, "Well, I'm never getting there because I've set too lofty of a goal, so I'm just going to be done." And then you lose, and then odds are you lose a lot of that progress because you've quit, or because you've said, "You know what, I'm not getting there. Why don't I go back to eating how I was eating?" And so I'm kind of at that point, but I feel like I'm on the good side of it where I'm, I feel, especially with the last month where it's been progress every week. I feel, this last month going from 251 to 246 was, I feel way better than I felt for the 10 weeks where I lost 6 pounds,
Right.
And,
sure.
But
you kept at it. You kept grinding.
Right.
And you were trying, and you can't really beat yourself up too much because you're trying different diets. At that point, you were trying a different diet every 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So you were trying to lose weight as you're also trying to be a guinea pig.
Right.
You're trying to figure out what works for you and what doesn't.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, they go on a diet for like 2 or 3 days. You're like, "Fuck that. I don't like that. I can't," But you stuck it out for 2 weeks on each of those. So
yeah.
once you settle down on a solid plan, then you got in the rhythm. You've had good results, like you said, almost a pound and a half a week. So, and I know we rated this a month ago when you finished it up, but let's you want to do your ratings? You want to do a little updated chart on how you rate everything?
Yeah. Well, I guess we did the ratings for the dad diet. I guess this is a kind of a different
modified version.
Yeah, and sadly I do not have the dad diet ratings technically because those are on my other computer.
Sure. Well, that makes sense.
So it's hard to compare these diet ratings with those. But yeah, I'm
fresh then.
What?
Do it live. Fuck it, we'll do it live.
Yeah. So, but I've got, I can compare it. What diet I do have on this, because I started this document new once we were on the road. Hey, we can compare it to the raw food cleanse diet. We can compare our
It's like
scores. I think I
I like it better.
remember like our highest score so far has been like a 7.75 or like 7.25 or 7.5. I think it's been in the sevens.
Okay. All right,
So
so let's rate them.
let's rate this one indeed. Okay, so we, as always, we do this on the four categories: cost, results, ease, body feel. Cost. This I call this an eight. I don't I didn't notice spending that much more money, and I think the places where I think you can't eat out, and so I think you save money because you can't eat out as much. And especially
Well,
since
yeah.
I've been in like Colby, I've been
Right.
spending. I get a $15 chicken salad from Costco, a $15 pasta salad from Costco, and then a $10 meal or like a $15 dinner that's healthier from Costco, and I eat that
Okay.
throughout the week, and I don't go out to eat. So I've been spending $50 a week for food essentially, Monday through Friday, and that's
You're on a little per diem there too, right? So you can put a little extra money in your
wow.
pocket
You
every
know,
day.
put a little cheddar cheese in the wallet. Yeah, I got, and I get, I guess, and I also get shakes, but those are $30 every 3 weeks or so.
Okay.
So it's,
All right.
but
It's ten
so
dollars a week to you, me.
yeah, 60. So I think it's $60 a week, or yeah, $60 a week total for everything. So pretty good cost, I will say. Monday through Friday, if you spend $60 on breakfast, lunch, and dinner, I'd call that pretty good.
Yeah. Not bad at all. Not bad at all.
So
You're like one of the commercials for the like Save the Children. Once you sponsor Truman for just $60 a week, he'll write you a letter once a month, let you know how it's going.
I'll tell you how much weight
He'll
I've
send,
lost.
he'll send you pictures.
Yeah, yeah.
Won't somebody think of the children? Okay, so cost is an eight, dude. What does it take to get the cost higher than an eight? Like just the grapefruit diet. I put the cost at a nine because all I bought was fucking grapefruit, and they're pretty cheap. So give it a nine.
Yeah, I know. We've almost run into this with Grub Butts where I'm like, dude, everything we rate is within a 60 to a 90. I was like, we don't do anything that's too bad, and we never do anything that's that good anymore. It's like, dude,
Right.
nothing blows me away. I've seen everything, and I've tasted
Yep.
everything. Nothing is groundbreakingly bad or good. And so
I was just curious how you rate your personal scale there with the cost.
I listen. Maybe we give this one an 8.5 because it's cheaper. We just talked about how it's cheaper. 8.5. I'm willing to do that. I'm willing to. There you go. I think that's the highest one cost rating. Maybe there was a 9 for thoughtful eating because you were eating less food overall.
Okay.
Results?
Now,
Oh,
yep. Results.
sorry, what were you going to say?
I was gonna say, have you thought about combining mindful eating with whatever plan you're on?
I have thought about it. I have
No,
noticed
being on the road
myself
isn't too conducive to that.
right. I've noticed myself slowing down or thinking about how fast I'm eating my food a lot more,
Okay.
especially when I'm like hungry and I'm like sitting down and I'm eating with somebody. I'm like, man, I've eaten half my food and the other person has taken 3 bites. I was like, dude, I have to. It's a
They're
lot more.
still saying their prayers.
Yeah, right. It's, I think mom's talked about it before of setting down the fork between bites and things like that. And, it's not every bite, but it's setting down the fork occasionally, from time
Right.
to time to think about what you're eating and what's going through instead of just annihilating something,
100%.
you know.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Uh,
Very good. So results. How do you rate it?
Results, I would say, for sustained 6 pounds over 4 weeks, 5.8, essentially 1.5 pounds a week. I'm trying to think where 3 pounds would have put us before. I think because I put the results as an 8, but I want to say we put keto results as an 8 or a 9, and we
I was
lost
gonna say
like
you should
eight
go back and
pounds.
if you didn't put it at a nine, you should have,
Yeah.
and probably close to a 10. I mean, a 10 would just be just flat out fasting.
Well,
You know.
I think keto. I think absolutely. I think all these diets. I guess technically, some diet should have a 10 in every category. because it's
the
the
only
best my body's
the only
felt.
10 the only 10 diet we've had this year so far, as far as results go, is when I had the stomach bug.
That
And
was a 10.
lost like 8 or 10 pounds in a week.
Right.
That's a 10.
Yeah.
But all right, that's solid.
So I want to put this at an 8, especially because we're this and keto had the benefit, as we'll always talk about. Keto had the benefit of being the first one we ever did.
Yep.
So I think we put this one at an 8, just because 6 pounds in 4 weeks is very good for being 5 months into this.
Yeah, 100%.
Like we're
100%.
we're coming up. We're starting the 5th month. No, we're 6 months into this, right? Because we're at 20. This is episode
September.
25, so we're
Uh yeah, well,
five
September
and yeah,
Sep- March to September would theoretically be 6 months,
right,
3 to 9 months, month 3 to month 9, but that's
right,
going to be 26 weeks, not 24. So,
right. So five
uh,
and a half months, quite simply, because we started March 1. So end of August would
yes,
be the
no,
end of.
we started like the 10th of March. We started like the 10th of March, I think.
Did we? Right around the
I think so.
Ides.
We'll go back.
The Ives? Ides?
Yeah, we'll go. Ides. And you had it right.
Okay.
Don't ever doubt yourself.
Well, Uh,
You know where that comes from? You know where
yeah,
Beware the Ides of March comes from?
of course I do.
Okay.
It's from Caesar. I made a joke.
Superman.
Would you believe I made a TikTok joke about that? There's a joke on my TikTok about that way back when. It did okay.
Let's hear it.
No, it was it's hard to explain because it was a trend at the time where it was like you took a photo and it was like
Okay.
not a big deal, and then it was like the consequences of the action, and you're like, oh my god. So it was like, I posted it on the Ides of March, but it was like some guy tells you to beware of March. I want to get the date right, 15th.
Yes.
It's like some guy tells you to beware of March 15th, and you're like, and then it's like you get stabbed by, you get stabbed by your senators. Was it 57, 58
What?
times? How many times did he get stabbed?
I don't know.
You don't know the number,
That's-
but I looked up the number that he got stabbed, and it was like, and so it's funny. It was funny in the context. You would like it. You would have enjoyed
Yeah.
it if you were hip and cool.
Yes.
But
Oh, I was like a good history joke.
yeah, yeah. It did okay. It wasn't my most popular video of all time, but it wasn't my worst video of all time. So, okay. But all that to say, man, we got again off on a tangent. I can't believe it. Results. I'm gonna give this an 8, just
Okay.
because ease wise, I think it's a 7. I think I think it is very easy to do, but it's not. You're gonna have to alter some things, and you're not gonna get to eat out. You're not gonna get to go do fast food. I mean, you can eat out at sit down
out.
restaurants if you
Yep.
look at the menu and you have a plan going into it. You're gonna get a lot of chicken. Maybe get a little red meat if you want, but it's not a lot of. What you can't do is a lot of bread. You can't do a lot of rice. Can't do a lot of potatoes. But
Right.
you
Yeah,
can fit
like
potatoes if you want.
we go into an Italian place and I'll have a salad and a order of balls.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
that's a pretty solid dinner. Have a little sauce on, a little sugo,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah. So you can make adjustments. Like you said, you can have a spud. You can't have one of those like boat size. What is that? McAllister's Deli. I always call it Spudsies. That has the like the fully loaded baked potatoes and shit.
Oh yeah,
And they're like 1,600 calories and 100
yeah,
carbs or whatever. But they look like a canoe. They're literally the size of a fucking shack shoe or something.
yeah, and it
So
gets and you're probably gonna need a tracking app. You could do this on your own,
yep,
but it won't
that's
be
right.
very easy. Trying to just guess 1,800 calories, 80 net carbs, having
The
more.
tracking apps are so easy, especially
Yes.
once you get your food entered and it's just in your drop down.
Yeah.
You're talking about 5 minutes a day tops
Yeah.
to,
It's
to enter your food.
oh yeah, it's nothing, but it is, and especially with wearables and nowadays where you don't even have to like guess on how many workout calories you had, where you're just like,
Right.
I worked out and I was like, oh, 650 calories, boom, 325, I get 325 calories back. If it did, and there's the odds that the watch will just add it in for you because you're connected to your fitness apps. So whatever, you know.
Absolutely, very cool. Yep, it's
So
very easy. And of course, on the plus side, like you said, you can't have a lot of carbs. But if you want to have like butter, sour cream on your baked potato, you want
yep.
to have a small baked potato and load it up and put some fucking melted cheese and butter, sour. You can do all that shit. Don't worry about it. Put some bacon bits on there. Go nuts.
Hmm. Hmm.
So that's the good part. You know, you can do the low carb stuff. You can do a lot of red meat. You can do a lot of dairy. Things like that. You don't have to worry about butter. You don't have to worry about cheese. So pastrami, fatty meat, I can go crazy.
Yep.
So there are some trade offs.
Fair enough.
But yeah, for the most part, you're gonna eat a lot of chicken, a lot of salads when you go out to eat. But you're probably gonna spend less money. You're not. There's a lot of appetizers you're not gonna have. You think most appetizers are pretty high carb. You got your spin dip with some sort of chips. You got your guacamole. You got nachos. Whatever. There's a lot of appetizers that are out of bounds. So you're going to spend less money. You're not going to have dessert. Not going to have a soda. Um, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Again,
about it.
about one soda a week for me is about what I've cut it down to. And
There you go.
yeah, again, it helps that as I get older, I can't have like super sugary things if I'm not eating other things with it. Or, like we were talking about this before. We were talking about alcohol, and I was talking about, and we're going to talk about this probably a little bit more here soon. But I was talking about how I can't do, like I used to do rum and cokes and whiskey cokes and whatever. I really did more whiskey cokes because even rum and cokes were a little sweet in college. But or like my friends would get whiskey sours, and those just make you sick to your stomach, man. Those are
Now see,
so sweet.
I've always been kind of on either extreme as far as the drinks go. Either give me like bourbon on the rocks or bourbon straight up, or give me like a pina colada fucking flavored apple teeny shit. Just give me the complete trash drink on the other side.
But you can't do them all the way the whole time.
No, no,
Right.
no, and I can't even imagine sitting in the sun and drinking, 4 or 5 pina coladas. I just, count me out for the next day.
Yeah.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm absolutely done.
Wh-
So,
I think I did
all
that
right,
when we
so
went to Cancun when I was 19, but I don't
right,
have the same gut health that I had at 19, I think.
not the same constitution. So, all right, so we're going to incorporate something that is a challenge for a lot of people. Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry. Real quick. Body feel?
Oh,
9.
okay.
I'd give it a 9. I feel great. I mean, I feel super clean. I really am getting a lot of, you know, compliments about, it's that 40-pound mark. I don't know what it is as we're rounding into it. I think 10, 20, 30, people couldn't really tell, Like Tina could
Yep.
tell because she sees me shirtless enough. Like,
Oh,
okay, dude. All right. Like, but I think it's something about like that 40-pound mark. Well, and really, part of it is that I've moved into XL shirts. So now it's
right.
moving from the baggy 2Xs that, you're moving whatever. I moved up to 2X because the XLs were too tight on me. And now I'm swimming in my 2Xs, so I have to move into the XL shirts. So now people are seeing that like, oh, smaller shirt, tighter on the arms and whatnot, but still not tight around the body. They're like, oh, that's you're losing weight.
Well, and
And
it's
you're like,
also
yeah,
it's probably also you're really starting to notice it in your face too,
that's true. Yeah.
because I think people notice it there before anywhere else.
Mm-hmm.
So okay, very good. A 9 on the body field. What's that come out to for a grand total?
8.125, which I think is gonna be the highest rated. But we designed this, and and we had great success. It was easy to follow. I mean, we did all these other diets to study what we wanted this diet to look like, and it's not a mystery why it worked for us. After we've done all this, after everything we've talked about, we did all the things that we've learned during 20 weeks of dieting on every diet that you guys could throw at us, and then we used it. So it's not a mystery that this is the best diet because we designed it for ourselves. And again, I'm not going to recommend everybody to go out and try 10 diets or 8 diets or 5 diets.
Yes.
But maybe try one or two reasonable ones that you're like, I think I could do that. And then say, okay, what didn't work? What did work? And then do your own diet. Not every diet, no diet is, not everybody's weight loss journey is cookie cutter, and not every diet works for every single person. Keto, a great example of something that literally never, and this is, not a sexist comment, this is truly just observation. I've never heard of a woman so far that has not said that it didn't work for them. I think now I've had 4 or 5 that have come up that when the topic of keto has come up, they've said, I can't. We talked about it. I was in a meeting the other day and keto came up the lady I was sitting across from said, oh yeah, I got super sick on keto, couldn't shake it, couldn't do it. And that's the experience Tina had. That's the experience I've had other coworkers have. That's the experience Tina's friends have had. Everybody. So I think for so many reasons, whatever reason it is, keto is a great example of that. That is one of the hot diets right now, and it doesn't work for half the population just based on what I've seen. And it'll probably work for some girls also.
Anecdotally, I'm sure
Anecdotally,
there are
yes, right,
numerous females that have had success, but
right,
maybe you can say based on your anecdotal evidence that they don't seem to have as much success.
right, yes,
Perhaps.
right. So,
So, I don't think that's being sexist at all. I think that's being observational.
right, that is
Uh,
just
you know,
observation so
I
far.
think it's sexist if you say shit, because they're weak and they don't like meat.
Right, and that's
So
yeah, but that's
I
not
think,
yeah, right,
pointing out your observation is just sort of an objective thing to say, and I don't think that's sexist at all.
right. So, and I'm not going to say that this diet will work for everybody, but we designed this diet to work for us, and I would recommend that you go find a diet that works for you. That was the end of that.
Absolutely, and pick something that you like, and say, well, I don't like this part of it. Well, don't do that part of it.
Yeah.
That's it. See if it modify and see if the modifications work. You can't do a diet like you can't like do our diet and go, except I don't want to give up cheesecake. I'm gonna have a piece of cheesecake every day. Okay, that's not gonna work. You can't modify it that way.
Or if you said I don't want to give up soda, I think there's no way you can drink soda every day and
Oh,
get this
you
done.
can't because
No.
a can of soda has what 50, 60 grams of sugar. We looked this up
Gosh, what was it? Let me see if I've got.
before. It's a shit ton. It's a lot. So as you look that up, I'm going to tell everybody what you're going to be doing because this
Yes.
is going to be interesting, and this is a real life situation that real people will encounter, especially during the summer months, but all year round potentially. And it's going on vacation while you're trying to diet, and you're going. You and I were talking about this. You kind of sounded like you were surprised, and it's been this way for about 10 years. Vegas is probably it might even be the second best culinary city in the country after New York. You'd have to look at Chicago, L.A., and Vegas, but they're all right there. So Vegas is a great town. I like to go to Vegas, and I don't really give a shit about going to the casino. But I still like to go to Vegas just for the restaurants and to see the sights.
Come on, you don't mean that, do you?
What don't I? When was what?
You like
You and I went to the casino about a year ago.
yeah.
Kind of noodle, maybe 6 months ago, whatever. To kind of noodle around. That was the first time I'd been since way before the pandemic, probably 2 years before the pandemic. I've had no desire to go back since. No, I don't give a shit about the casinos, not one bit.
All right.
I promise you, I could go to Vegas for a week and never make a bet and feel fine about it.
I think there's a lot going. I think there's enough going on in Vegas that you don't have to go to the casinos to have a good time. But
with the exception of maybe spending a couple of days a couple of hours, a couple of days on my vacation in the sports book.
At a sports book, yeah, all right. So again, there's.
As far as
I'm just, it's not.
But if somebody said you're going to go to Vegas, but you can't bet anywhere, including a sports bet, I'd be like, fuck it, that's fine, let's go.
Yeah, I guess, and I'd be the same. There's enough there to keep me entertained. Sorry, okay.
So anyway, so you're going to Vegas for a bachelor party.
I am going to Vegas for a bachelor party next. It's not this week.
You're leaving in next weekend. How long are you going to be gone for? The entire weekend?
A Wednesday through Sunday. As everybody has told me, and I am aware of this, it's too many days to be in Vegas. That's what I had. I had somebody out of the blue call me today, and I told them I'd be out of town because I was going to Vegas, and they're like, oh, because I told them I'd be out Wednesday through Friday, and they're like, oh, that's good. That's a good amount of time, Wednesday through Friday. I said, oh no, we'll be there till Sunday, and he's like, ooh, Vegas is kind of a 3-day town, and I was like, I know.
You know, I certainly understand that theory, but if you're somebody who never had access to casinos and you were tended to be compulsive about chasing your losses and things like that, yeah, I'd worry about you being in Vegas for 5 days.
Yeah,
But I know you'll have a budget as far as what you're going to gamble, and when that's gone, you're going to be done.
one
So
rule.
I don't think
There's one rule:
we'll chase.
never go to the ATM. Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, and I think for a good part of that is I think ATM charges in Vegas now are probably close to $10.
Oh yeah, I'm sure they're all insane.
So I know when I was at the boat almost 10 years ago, they were $5. So I'm sure they are close to $10 in Vegas. So that's if you get $100 out of that's I'm going to go down a pet peeve path of mine just real quick. If you get $100 out of an ATM and you pay $10 in juice, you already can't beat the game.
Right.
You might as well light $100 on fire.
Yeah.
Because you're already down 10%.
Yep.
And you are not going to find a game where you have a 10% advantage ever.
No.
So, yeah, just for practical purposes, just a little piece of dad advice there. Don't ever go to a fucking ATM at a casino. Number one, it's a bad deal. Number two, it means you're chasing your losses. Don't fucking do it. Don't get cash advances on a credit card. Have a little discipline, have a plan, and stick to it.
Yes. It's hard. They design all of those things to make you get out of your plan and make you abandon your plan and make it feel like, oh, well, I could get there. You can't. You can't make them up.
I think they give a lot less free drinks too.
Oh, now in Vegas?
I believe that is correct. I'm not sure. I haven't been in a while, but as I understand it, the drinks don't flow quite as liberally as they used to. You know, back in the days when I went to Vegas in my early 20s, I would go down to the Horseshoe, play dollar blackjack, drink all day, and they'd buy me cigarettes. I need a pack of Marlboro Lights, and they'd bring you a pack of Marlboro Lights with a fucking pack of matches and keep the drinks coming.
Christ.
I'm playing dollar blackjack. So, it was, those days are gone though, my friend. First of all, they're gone like dollar blackjack is.
Yeah, right. Hell, $10 craps per back. But again, we don't need. Again, we don't.
All right, so
all besides the
going
point.
to do. Our normal diet week runs Saturday through Friday.
Yes.
So what Truman is going to do, he is going to weigh in this coming Friday, and then he is going to weigh in on Wednesday, the morning he leaves for Vegas, and then he will not weigh in again for 9 days.
Yes.
So he's going to have an opportunity to get well a little bit after the trip to Vegas. He'll still have 4 full days to be able to put a little dent in the Vegas weight gain. So
Yes.
Truman, let's talk about your strategy for Vegas. What are you going to do?
Okay, real quick. So leading up to that, we talked about a couple of things that we were going to test out, that we want to test out with the diet while still doing it. So up until I leave for Vegas, the only 2 times we talked about this, I'm an overweighter. The only 2 times I'm weighing myself, Friday, Wednesday. From here on out.
All right. Yep.
Terrifying for me. It'll be an interesting study about whether or not my anxiety will. I don't suffer that too terribly from anxiety much anymore. I've had, to be fully open, we're open with a lot of things on this podcast. I've struggled with anxiety before.
Right.
I don't, and also one of those things that I've noticed as I get healthier, as I get more control of my body, it helps me be more present. And for a lot of people, being more present helps them with their anxiety. I'm one of those people where I'm less anxious, the healthier and the better I feel, and that it all snowballs. And when you're less anxious, it's easier to get up and go do stuff and all sorts. Again, being health. A lot of things stack on top of each other. That's one of those things. But it'll be interesting to see if my anxiety about always trying to lose weight. I've never gone up on this show yet. I've had grinds where I've weighed myself and it's like, fuck, I got to go work out tonight, or I'm not gonna, or I'm gonna, be down low, and it's like, or I'm gonna be up tomorrow. And, so there's been times where I've lost point 0.1, point 0.2. I've ended up exactly even. It's been because I see the scale number and I go, I got to grind or I'm going to, I'll be embarrassed. So it'll be interesting to see if my internal clock and my body feel. I'll just have to listen to my body because I can kind of feel when I'm heavy, and I've gotten pretty good at being able to be like, when you weigh yourself enough, you go, oh, like I know how much you're like, man, I ate all that food. I'm feeling kind of heavy. I'm feeling kind of full. I bet I'm this many pounds. And you're like, okay, yep. And then you weigh yourself and you're like, oh, wow, I'm a pound over, or oh, I'm a pound lower than I thought. But I've got a pretty good gauge on it. But it'll be interesting to see if how my internal gauge goes and whether I'm like, oh, I need to go work out or I'm going to be heavy tomorrow.
So you're basically going to try to stick-ish to the same diet that you've been on,
Yes.
but you're not going to weigh yourself. You're going to weigh yourself this Friday.
Yep.
You're going to weigh yourself Wednesday morning when you leave.
Yep.
And then the hard part, you're not going to weigh yourself until 9 days later on that Friday morning.
Yes. Yes.
Okay.
That'll be, which will be even crazier.
Well, being in Vegas, it won't be hard.
It won't be hard to not weigh myself because I just won't bring the scale. Yeah.
Right. So the trick will be those 4 days you're back, and I think that's good. I think when you get home, you'll have the mindset of what kind of weekend you had and how hard you need to work those 4 days just to break even.
Yeah, and I might, we're gonna be staying at the Flamingo. I'm sure they've got a solid workout room that I could probably go get a workout in the mornings.
100%.
But as anybody's ever been on a bachelor party or anything, that's easier to say while I'm here sitting in Colby, Kansas, as opposed to 6 a.m. Saturday morning in Vegas. It's easier.
It's really 4 a.m. your time.
Yes, yeah. Not to even mention that part of it. Yeah. So,
right.
All different aspects of it. So,
although if it's like bachelor party and guy trips that I've been on in Vegas, you could get up at 10, still get your workout in, and you're catching the whole day of activity.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody meeting at the buffet at 8 o'clock for breakfast.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
It's not 70-year-old men going to Hy-Vee. It's fucking 20-somethings on a bachelor party. I don't know what you think happens, but getting up at 6 a.m. to go fucking have breakfast and start your day with bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, you just ain't one of them.
Yeah, that's fair.
So, just be careful out there. Be safe. Drink lots of water if it's going to be hotter than shit like it has been.
It's going to be under 100 every day we're there, and I was actually like, wow. That's incredibly lucky.
For this summer in Vegas, that's as good as you're going to get in the middle of August.
I was pretty happy about that. But so so
it's still hot. It's still going to be damn hot.
Right. So the upcoming weeks are going to be a double measurement in not weighing myself and in cheat days, essentially. Or how to deal with vacations.
Right.
Because it'll be, I'm going to be honest. I'm going to be in Vegas. I'm probably not going to stick to the diet to a T. There's going to be drinking, but we've talked about strategies. I don't drink a lot of like soda with alcohol anymore, and but beer is just straight carbs, and that's hard to. But it's also super easy to drink, and I don't get as. It's easier to gauge my level of how drunk I am if I'm drinking beer, because you just can't outpace how full you get on beer. For me enough to get.
Another strategy is the 1-for-1. Have a cocktail, have a gin and soda, whatever your drink of choice is, and then have water, and alternate them.
Yeah.
So not only are you getting less drunk, you're remaining more full.
It's an interesting. Okay.
It's not, and they'll bring you fucking all the bottled water you want.
Oh yeah, I do believe that.
You have to throw them a bone or whatever, but
yeah.
For you give her a buck or two. First time she brings you water, she ain't never gonna miss you.
Right.
So they don't give a shit. Cocktail waitresses don't give a damn if they're selling you Jack and Coke or water on the rocks, as long as you're tipping a couple bucks every time that he brings one. So
that's fair. Yeah, absolutely.
And you want to be cheap about it. Order your gin, order your water at the same time.
Yeah.
When you're done with your gin, you got your water ready to go. It's just an idea. I know it's one of those things that you're whatever you are. What are you 26 now? So
Yes.
you're just going, sure, Dad. That sounds like a great plan. You're gonna go out there
No.
and fucking get hammered. I get it, but
No, but
it's
it is a good plan.
if you can, and again, these are small victories. So if you can implement it 1 or 2 nights, you can do it for a couple hours instead of just nonstop drinking. If you can have one meal that isn't as bad as you normally would have it, if you skip dessert one night, or maybe you have a steak instead of a sandwich, those are all victories.
Yeah.
Those are all vacation victories. So
Right.
if you don't have, you avoid dessert, you avoid the rolls sitting on the table. Maybe you have a half a roll instead of 3 rolls, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
There's moderation that you can do and still not feel deprived, but still not totally fall off the fucking wagon and put 6 pounds on when you're out there.
Right. Avoiding the buffet every day, or eating salads on the buffet. There
Yeah,
are okay things on a buffet.
you can do the breakfast buffet. You can have your omelets, you can have sausage, bacon, a couple of spoonful of hash browns, whatever. You can,
Right.
there's all kinds of things you can do. So yeah,
Yeah.
so that'll be good. We'll see how that goes, and we'll see. Basically, we're giving you 9 days to lose the weight.
Yeah.
We're giving you 4 days to put it on, and we're giving you nine. We're giving you 5 days to lose it.
Yeah.
So it works out 14 days. First week is 5 days long. Second week's 9 days long. That equals 14 days.
I guess, and as an interesting flip side to this, I have another bachelor party that's this weekend, but it's in Kansas City. It's not as, it's like we don't have as many plans or as crazy of plans. It's like just like 5 or 6 of us. It's a lot calmer of a bachelor party that I think I'll be able
Right.
to keep a lid on for the most part. And like I think I'll be sleeping in my own bed every night. And like I don't think we're not all staying in a hotel going morning to night, morning to night. So
Yeah.
I think there's opportunities to go work out and be healthy on the outsides of that.
Well, and to be honest with you, Vegas is a lot less exciting if you haven't grown up with casinos. Like you and all your buddies, you've only lived places where casinos are legal. So there's no allure. That's I think you. What I'm saying is, I think you're a lot less likely to just go spend 12 hours every day gambling in the casino.
That is
I
true.
think you might want to mix it up a little bit. Maybe see some stuff, or whatever.
Yeah, I was trying pushing because we're going down Wednesday. The rest of the party's getting down there. There's like 5 of us going down on Wednesday. The rest of the party's getting down there Thursday. I was pushing to go do Meow Wolf has a exhibit there, so I threw that out there that we might go do Meow Wolf.
How'd that go?
I told them that I told my niece that I would go get her something from that. So I told them like at the very least we got to run over there and grab a souvenir. But if you guys want to do it, I mean it is a super cool art exhibit. But they're like, and then of course I think somebody responded and said, "Is there a boob exhibit?" So
Well, I mean, and you
you
gotta
know
you gotta hit the requisite strip club or two,
right.
for the bachelor party, and there are some really good strip clubs in Vegas, but man, they are not cheap.
No,
They are.
I think it's never been enticing to me. And full disclosure for the show, I've never been on one on U.S. soil. And the only other time I've been on one, we went to it accidentally. So
Okay.
and
All
how
right.
I can tell you, I can promise you, I went to it accidentally because I went to it with Cindy, Skylar, and Sawyer. So
Oh,
that was good.
yeah, there you go with your sisters. No,
Yeah,
I'm sure that wasn't an accident.
yeah,
I would say that if you go to a high class joint, your spearmint rhinos, that kind of stuff, $200 minimum is what you're going to spend.
See, and that's just not
Drinks are probably, I'm going to guess, $20, and you're gonna tip, and you're gonna tip 5 or 10 and whatever, and that's not even talking about if you want to go to the champagne room or any of that. Not
right.
that's
Or you got to pay for the bachelor to go or whatever.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. So I would say minimum of $200. Count on spending 200. I'd bring 3 to 4 when you go to the strip club. And maybe
Gosh.
you'll be happily surprised. Maybe you guys will go in there and not spend that kind of money. But that's just telling you. That's what your old dad's for.
Well,
Can't count on your dad to tell you how much you're going to spend at the strip club. Who can you count on?
I appreciate that about you. And
problem.
you know what? I appreciate everybody for being here, listening to the show, listening to everything that we've had to talk about here. Thank you again for showing up. Hey, if you guys want to, if you guys have,
You're welcome.
especially if you've made it 55 minutes into this, definitely, you might as well like, comment, subscribe. Let us know. Again, let us know in the comments. Maybe what I should do in Vegas. Maybe that's what you
Yes.
guys should comment this week. Yeah.
We're going to look for diet tips while you're on vacation and cool things to do in Vegas that don't involve strip clubs or casinos.
Yeah.
So if you've seen a particularly good show that's out there, I don't even know if you've looked at some of the shows, if anybody cool is out there.
Yeah, I'm going to convince
Uh,
my buddies, like, hey, let's go do Celine Dion one night. And they'll be like, oh, dude, I
I
love,
know you know,
I know.
but you see Carrot Top or something. But
Or Chris
I'll
Angel,
tell you what
or,
is I'll tell you what is fun is seeing like a good magician
yeah.
and kind of look under the radar. Don't do necessarily your David Blaines or some of the other top guys that are out there. There's some of the guys that are working some of the smaller showrooms that are really, really good and put on a good show.
Okay.
So I would advise if you go see a magician, yeah, the guys on the bachelor party. Well, let's go see a magician, and we're gonna go to the art exhibit. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like it's gonna happen. But
Yeah, no shot.
anyway, and I know it's your first time in Vegas, so I'll be curious to see how you like it. It's a sight. It's something else, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going
Definitely.
with 16 other people. So,
Oh, Jesus.
so
All
we're
right. Well,
gonna, or like it's at least a group in the double digits. So it'll be interesting to see what we do because you have to convince a group to do whatever you're gonna do.
I would definitely go. You have any sports betters?
Yeah, yeah, they're sports betting. There's a lot of
Go to
fantasy
this.
football guys, a lot of sports guys for sure.
Go to the Circa pool.
Yeah, is that where the swim up sports book is?
With
Yeah,
with all the screens and everything.
yeah, I know we'll have to go
Uh,
do that. Yeah.
Get there early. Get there
Oh,
early because I know you're going to be out there for preseason football. So
yep.
on a spot, I'd get there early. So anyway, yes,
Fair
always,
enough.
guys. Thanks for joining us today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Open Disaster Productions is a YouTube channel. All kinds of great content over there. You can follow him at Steen Machine on Twitter. I'm at Steen Roller on Twitter. He's also on Twitch. And what else you on?
TikTok too, I guess.
TikTok. He's on the TikTok.
If you've ever
He's
had
on the
any
Tiki
interest
Talk.
in it, yeah.
So make sure you check that out as
I've not
well.
been posting nearly as much, but maybe we'll have more free time at home here soon. So maybe you'll see more stuff.
There you
So
go.
that's all I got for you.
All right. Very good.
All right. We appreciate you guys all for being here again. Believers, the dreamers, even the fat guys. Appreciate you all for being here. Appreciate we're deep into this journey. We're about almost half a year. But we're gonna keep going strong.
All right.
I think we're gonna get there, man.
I
So,
agree. I totally agree. Have a great week, everybody.
yeah, really appreciate you guys being here. Let me stall it long enough to get the music going again. But thank you, everybody. We'll see you guys next week to talk about how not weighing myself went. Thank you. And then the week after that, talk about Vegas. See you guys.